Go ahead.
But I think you have to make the time and make it a priority, but you also have to find things that really interest you and find things that you have unique access to. And a majority of the good, documentaries that are made, the majority of the work is time on the ground without a camera, building trust, understanding a community. The stuff that's actually captured on camera is just a small percentage of the work. A lot of the work is understanding what's happening and building those trusts on the ground. So I would say to anyone, find the things that really interest you and start exploring them, and find people that represent those issues and spend time with them. And but yeah, there's plenty of stories in your own backyard. You don't have to go anywhere in Brooklyn or LA to tell your stories. There's plenty here. I think that was the answer to that.
Yeah. So I know you also do a podcast called She Does, and this month is Women's History Month. It's March 2018 for the recording. And you curated a show with 3 photographers from West Virginia who are women documentary photographers. So tell me about that and the importance of paying honor to women in documentary photography and film.
Yeah. Well, I think that the exhibit here today, the 3 women, I think all share exactly what I was saying, is find something that you have unique access to and you can bring your own personality and style to. I think all 3 of these women have very different styles, and it's so uniquely their space. They occupy their own space in the documentary photography world, and they do it so well. Rebecca is more of a photojournalist than the other 2, and she's going deep with these people's lives and understanding the details of them, and then making these photographs that you could stare at for 10 minutes, because you're always finding details in them. And Lisa's work is kind of this iconic, capturing a moment in time. There's the photos just look timeless. They look like they could be from any time and space, and that's really hard to do. She's sort of mastered that sort of, this could be in 1963 or 2013 look, with everybody that she captures, and it's really beautiful. And then Meg's work is this very gritty, on the ground feeling, only that person at that angle at that moment could have captured that particular photo. She's just got this really, it kind of feels like nobody else can make that type of work. And I think that's just because she doesn't seem to take her work too seriously. She doesn't seem to take herself too seriously, I guess is what I mean to say. And she's very, gritty about it. She just makes it. And it's this, I think you can see that in the work. She'll just shoot from the hip. And you can see that, and it's really cool. But I think it's important to draw attention to their work as a collective, so you can see the themes that they all represent. And the exhibit's called A Knowing Intimacy, because I think all the stuff that isn't said on the photos or isn't said in Heroine is the stuff that informs the work. So the time spent with these women that we filmed with Heroine that's not on camera totally informs the final product of the work. The viewer may not know what was said or what the experiences were had off camera, but you maybe feel a little closer to this subject because of those experiences. We're able to give you a better sense of intimacy with an individual because we've spent time with them. And so I think that all these women bring sort of a aesthetic to their work and an intimacy to it. And I think there's a lot of benefits to being a woman documentarian. I mean, my husband he's always comparing us. He's like, gosh, you can just get right up in people's faces and they don't care. He's like, if I did that, it's so much more intimidating. Or he's like, you can ask the hardest questions and then give them a smile afterwards and no one's intimidated. And I'm like, well, you should just pretend you're a 5'3" woman and you have that energy, and maybe he'll feel that way too. Maybe you're just reading into this too much. But he seems to think, I think being a woman, particularly a short, unassuming, small woman, people aren't threatened at all by you. And sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad. If you're and you can also get walked over quite easily if you're not careful. But I think in many situations, it just comes down to your personality. I think a man can have it too, but it's just a non-judgmental. I have no judgment when I'm with anybody I'm filming. I don't care if I agree with them or disagree with them. It's not my place to challenge them. I'm there to observe. I will challenge them if it's necessary, but I think that that's sort of the beauty of being a woman in this field, is that people kind of just get used to you being around because you don't interfere with their lives a lot, and you're able to just be this sort of extra person in the room that's not abrasive and not like in their way, and it's just sort of floating around them. And it's easier to do that when you're small and not rude. So a man and woman can both do that, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's fun because women will open up to women more. I think like the stories that women will tell each other are different than the stories like I would tell of my life to a man. So I think it's important. I think there's a little bit of a duty to tell women's stories in an authentic way, because they are giving you something that I think oftentimes they won't open up to a man about. So yeah, there's a lot to it, but.
So is that part of the reason you started She Does, or tell me
about
how
yeah,
that
so
got started?
She Does started because I was in this period between making Hollow, releasing Hollow, and then trying to figure out what I wanted to do next. And that period between finishing a project and starting a new one is often very stressful, because you've dumped all your like brain and love into this one project and it just ends. And then you kind of feel like a little like you have no ground, you're not standing on any ground because you've put so much effort into this project and then it ends. It's like sending a kid to college, or like, but you never see it again. Like, it's no longer a baby. I have no clue what it's like to have kids, so I don't know if that's at all true. But I just felt a little listless after that, and I was like, I don't know what I'll make. I felt like I was putting so much pressure on myself to make something else that was like important, and like that's impossible, right? So I made She Does because I wanted to know how people navigate that downtime and how they navigate the creative ups and downs, because it's like working for yourself. There are a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of rejection. There's a lot of things you just have to get used to. And so I was looking to other women to help guide me to like get out of this sort of funk I was in. And their stories of ups and downs, and their stories of where they came from and how it influenced their work was all something I was really needing to feed my own soul. So that's really why I started it. And I really should do an episode this month because it's Women's History Month. I need to get on that. But yeah, it's
it won an award too, didn't it?
It did. Mm-hmm. It did win an award, and I can't remember what it was now. Do you know it? It was a communicator award, I think. I think it was a communicator
Yeah, it was some
award.
really good award, though.
Yeah.
I've got a list of awards here, but I don't think they're for the blog. 25 New Faces of Independent Film. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that came from Hollow. And actually, the interesting thing about being a filmmaker in West Virginia is there's not a lot of other filmmakers here. There's not like a huge film community. There are filmmakers here, but there's not a solid film community like there is in New York, like where most other documentary filmmakers live. And so it's important to get put on lists like that, because then you're brought into these communities. And so from the 25 New Faces of Independent Film in 2013, I met what are now like my friends in the film industry, one of them being Daniel Hart, who did the original music for Heroin and our feature that's coming out this year. So being able to have those contacts to those things, I think, is really important if you live in a non-Brooklyn, New York area. You know, I think it's important to tap into the communities that are elsewhere and find your own here too.
So do you think you'll stay West Virginia?
I don't know. I mean, we're here for at least another year, at least. I have no clue. I mean, it's a little challenging to live here as a documentary filmmaker because you don't have a ton of feedback. Like, you are missing that community industry side of things. But because I work with my husband, we can live anywhere and make the work. I mean, I think it's important that I live in Appalachia, whether that be in Kentucky or North Carolina or, you know, Virginia. You know, we'll pretty much probably always live in this region because these are the stories we're telling. Because I think one of the biggest benefits of living here and telling stories from here is that you're not dropping in. Like, you're here and you're there for a while, and people expect to see you, and you become that fly on the wall, and you not only become the person that they ignore, but you become the person that they know understands you understand what they're going through because you've lived it yourself, and you live in the neighborhood where you have the exact same problem, the chemical spill. I can't drink my water either. Like, you can relate on a deeper level than parachute journalists can, who get to leave the next day. And you're held to a different responsibility and caliber because you see these people in the grocery store. You know, I think a lot of media that comes in and out of West Virginia have no regard for how people are represented because they have no stakes here. There's nobody holding them accountable for the representation that they give to the world about us. And so when you live here, you're held accountable, you know. You have to tell the truth, and sometimes people don't like that, and you hear it. And I like that, you know. I like being held accountable for the work, because if it's honest, then I have no problem with saying it.
Awesome. We're glad that you do. Yeah. So I have a few minutes left, so I'm going to ask questions about the Oscars, unless you guys have other questions, if you don't mind.
I quickly was curious when you mentioned the work with those in rehab. What kind of rehab was it?
So we followed 4 men through a 6-month long-term farming-based rehab. It's called Jacob's Ladder. It's in Aurora. And they would get up every morning, eat breakfast, do their meetings, and then go to this farm and right across the street and work with animals and farm. And then they did meditation and yoga. It's a pretty holistic, alternative type of program that was just started. We filmed them painting the walls, so that's how the film starts, is the first guy shows up. So it's a look at not only these 4 guys' lives, but the ups and downs of starting a rehab, which is really hard to start a rehab because there's so many complications around accepting insurance and being able to have a program that allows farming. Insurance doesn't really. Those two things don't go together. You know, federal insurance and farming and holistic medicine are not two things that go together. So yeah, it's hopefully it can teach people about the gaps that we have in society in helping people.
Do you have a name yet?
Just to follow up, I asked because of the number of veterans that we have in West Virginia and the number who are here at WVU, and I know the Department of the Davis College here at WVU has written a gigantic grant to bring veterans together with agriculture.
Oh, cool.
In West Virginia.
That's great.
So it will be farming, and farming is catching on again.
Totally.
In West Virginia, so everybody's real hopeful that will come to pass and that they will have a successful program.
That's great. Yeah, they've done similar stuff in Kentucky. The Farmer Veterans program. I love it. Yeah, that's great. It's therapeutic farming and stressful.
Yeah.
But the actual planting a seed, watching it grow, nourishing it through it is for someone who's lived a life of addiction, to get you out of that cycle of daily going to seek pleasure to get your your fix. It's breaking that cycle and making people refocus on things that have long-term goals, and farming does that.
I think we have just
okay.
a minute.
Did anyone ask you what you wore when you were at the Oscars?
No. On the red carpet?
Okay.
Nobody asked. No, because I'm the short documentary maker. It's like the bathroom break award.
And then, did you stand when who was the actress that won?
Yeah,
you
Frances
did?
McDormand.
Oh, that was awesome.
That was
that
great.
Exciting to be there?
Yeah, because we had just lost the award, and there were 3 women in my category that were 3 women directors, and we had just lost to a man, and we were like all kind of like, oh, because it was supposed to be the year of women, right? And all of our films were really good, but we had all just lost. So, like right after when she asked all the female nominees to stand up, we were pretty excited. We all stood up.
That was awesome. That was a great moment to watch. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Is there anything you have to add?
Go Mountaineers.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.